What's up guys, welcome to the third video of this tutorial series. In this video I want to add the kick and I want to add all the other elements. As I said in the first video, I'm not going to make the kick in this series, unfortunately. But I put some amazing videos in the description on how to make kicks, and if you watch those videos you can get very far. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to add my own kick that I've already made into this project. Templates, kick, I'm going to drag this kick in here, and these are the layers. Now we'll look at the notes from the bass, G, D sharp, F. I'm going to copy these. Put it right here, put those in the right places. Now let's hear how this sounds. Pretty good. I want this note to pitch up a little bit. And we do that by clicking on Warp, Complex Pro or Texture maybe. Go in here, Transposition, and then now we can copy this. I want to set this a little bit higher. And also this one, just to make sure the frequencies don't clash with each other. I'll just increase the volume of the leads a little bit, and while I'm doing this I'm making sure that I still can hear the kick and the punch very clearly. To make the punch go through a little bit better, I will make a sidechain trigger, which makes the lead duck a little bit. I'll add a new track, put the punch over here. Ctrl J to consolidate it, to make it a new clip. I'm going to mute this track so you don't hear it. I'm going to call it sidechain trigger. Move it all the way up here so I can find it really quickly. Now I'm going into the leads, add a compressor, sidechain trigger. Without, with. Now it's a little bit too harsh, so we can change that. It's all about the subtlety, and I don't want it to trigger really that hard. Now I want to add some movement in the climax, and I'm going to do that by adding some super sauce. Copy the MIDI. And then adding this rhythm to it. Of course, adding a low cut. We're going to send this to the reverb. Decrease the volume, and then we are going to play everything and put it up until I hear it a little bit. And I'm going to add a delay to widen it again, just as I did with the other things. I send it to the main reverb instead of the lead reverb. Now what I can do with the reverb is I can add a sidechain trigger to this as well with this. I've already got it on here. Awesome, now we are going to look at the rest of the track. I'm going to add a lot of crashes and effects to it. Add some audio tracks. I'm going to add a delay on this. In the climax I don't want crashes or other percussion to be very loud because I just don't like the sound of it. I'm also going to add another sweep up. And to add to the tension, I'm going to duplicate this over here and I'm going to automate the filter. And I'm going to add some kick rolls. I don't really like kick rolls actually, but they do add some movement to the track. What I sometimes do is I follow the melody when adding kick roll. You hear the melody going dun 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 dun, and then we can also make the kick go like that. Now we're going to add a second break. Now I'm also going to automate the filter of the leads again. You can copy the crashes. And we can introduce the low frequencies back again. And remove the kickstart. What I always really like to do is adding a orchestral instrument, like a horn or something. So you've got this BBC Symphony Orchestra. This plugin is actually free. You can go to their website and fill in a survey. And after a week or so, or 2 weeks, you can get the plugin for totally free. And the instruments are amazing. So now I'm going to write a melody with this, route it to the reverb. I'm going to try to make the first chord major because that will add a lot of emotion to the track. So I'm going to select all the instruments. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and transpose this melody one note, selecting it all and moving it up one note. Going to change the last note to make it fit with the new transposed melody, and I might change this a few times. So what if I take this and move it up? This kind of works. I'm going to introduce the melody here again and just make it a very quick build up. I'm going to copy this one. Melody right here. I'm automating the leads again. I'm going to copy all the things that I did in the first Climax because the automation and all the settings will be just right, and I only have to transpose the notes. So what I'm doing here is I'm using this note. A sharp is in the key of G minor, but also in the key of G sharp minor. That makes it a very useful note to use when transposing up. I still don't really feel it, but... Now before adding the kick again, I'm going to make some variations to this melody. So in one of the last videos I also made some chord changes in the middle of the melody, and I want to use those chord changes in the second part of this track. I'm going to take all the B notes and I'm going to make those a C. And I'm going to add the kick again in the same way I did last time. Okay, so I don't really like this change of melody, so I'm going to make it as it was, and I'm going to add a few extra notes to increase the rhythm of it. So we made the second part. Now I'm going to add a few extra elements to make it come more alive. I'm going to take this part from the vocal. I'm going to reverse this, and I'm going to add a lot of reverb. I'm going to freeze this track and flatten it. Remove this and reverse this. Just adding some automation again. I want to add some ambience sounds. Sometimes this helps to add a vibe to the track. Okay, I'm going to increase the volume of my voice because the leads are kicking in a little bit too hard. To keep the movement or the pacing going, I'm going to add the kick from the build up to the second break. In the second climax, I'm going to duplicate a punch to remove that in the first climax, and I'm going to add more of that raw energy. I'm going to do that by adding another camel crusher. I'm going to freeze the track, and then I'm going to flatten it, and then I can change the pitch of the punch as well. I'm going to add the rain to this break as well. And I'm also going to add some orchestral drums to it to make it more interesting. Okay, I really don't like this note over here, so I'm going to change that. Maybe I'm going to delete this, consolidate this one and make it a little bit longer, because maybe I want to go fade out and then come back in again. I have to change this upriser one note up because otherwise it won't fit. So I actually find it very hard to make a good orchestral drum loop. So what I often do is I just find a drum loop on Splice and I use it in my tracks. There's nothing to be ashamed about when using samples like that. And I'm also going to do that here. And I might leave those in place. We can change the tempo by clicking on warp and putting 140 in there. I'm also going to copy the melody from this part over here, so it already has the faster moving rhythm. I'm also going to copy the vocal. And I'm going to pitch these vocals down. I'm going to add a reverb plugin just to make it fit with the rest of the track. So I actually don't want the vocal in the foreground. I want the break to have a little bit more space, but I still want the listener to recognize that there is part of the vocal in there. And I might also add the normal one back in again. So I've moved the vocals around, I've changed a few things. I've added some reverb to the vocals and it sounds like this. So this is it, this is the end of the series, and the total time I've spent on it is about 7 to 8 hours. And normally I spent about 60-70 hours on one track, so you can imagine that I would still change a lot of things from this track. I would add a lot more elements, I would try to improve the vocals, I would add a lot more harmonies, I would maybe add some screeches. And a big chunk of the time doing this, I'm just mixing the track and listening to the frequencies and trying to adjust them to make them feel nice. So you can still ask any question you have in the comments of this video, and maybe I will answer your question in a future video. I really hope you got something out of the series, and be sure to like the video and to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. I've been trying to find your soul. Are you with me? Lose control. I've been trying to find your soul.